Hey homies, what's up? Ryan Wynn here with another episode of Late Night Inks. And let's take a look at what we've got here. So, I have these 3 sketch covers. Let's adjust our camera a little now. Alright, these are for sale still. They are $50 each, and 100% of the proceeds go to my store, Alakazam. Well, not my store, my local comic book shop, Alakazam. I am going to be posting these on Twitter. You can comment or claim in the comments below, or contact me any way you know how to contact me. Alright, put those aside. Tomorrow we'll have the reveal of the finished Daredevil. That's all you get for now. I still have some things I want to go over on that. Some cleaning up. And doing a little work on my Captain Marvel sketch cover. Just doing a little bit of that each day. It's for a good friend from the Hero Initiative, Jeff Coop. So I want it to be cool. And then Travis, a good Valiant friend and fan. It's also Gods and Gears fan. So I have made these sketch covers, these custom sketch covers for Gods and Gears. Print up on really nice Bristol board, the kind I like to ink and pencil on professionally. And Travis is a big fan of my work, and he wanted Jimmy from Gods and Gears. See, there he is running at us with his bat in hand. And then down here we have, that's going to be Death Betty. Travis is a Death Betty fan. She's going to be riding her banana seat bike super fast in the background. And he likes my new character, Hammerella, so that still needs a lot of work. That's just sort of placement. We're gonna make that work later this week. I'm gonna take a sip of water. And we are gonna look at Hammerella as best we can. I got a little more done on the pencils here. Keep having to autofocus. So she's coming along good. I got the swirly black clouds in the background. Those are going to look really cool when I'm done. I like the look, the attitude in her face. Powerful hammer. We'll ink that up this week. We'll do bit by bit. We'll ink that up this week. So, what I am going to work on tonight is this illustration, well, I wouldn't call it illustration, a sketch of Rip Rider. That's one of my new characters, R.I.P. R-I-D-E-R. And the main character is named Rodney Parker, and his nickname is Rip. Rip is also a type of current in the ocean, and a surfing term, so that's his nickname, is Rip Rider. It's also the name of the book. Gonna start production on it soon, and I'd like to get a bunch of it done, and then I don't know, do a crowdfunder maybe or something. I don't know what to do with that yet. I'd like to get it printed on newsprint and release it under my own title or my own comic line, whatever, Novelty Comics. But we'll see. Figuring all of that out in the coming weeks. I don't know if I want to pitch it to somebody. We got to see what companies are left. Maybe I'll pitch to Alterna. All right, I'm loading up the brush over here. That's why I'm kind of quiet for a second. Now, we are going to just flip back and see what I got under here first. I sketched it out and lightboxed it onto a different piece of paper. And I decided I would do my warm-up on this scratch paper. So, I've got the brush loaded up. And since we don't really care about, this like an actual illustration, we can just go right in. I'm going to do first line, big long line. Usually I say, no, do those little lines. Do them little. No, we're going big here. I've been drawing all day. I'm feeling good. So So again, this is just to practice lines. We're not actually trying to make a nice illustration. Just going heavy on the shadow side. The light's kind of coming up, so we can go heavy on the left and top sides. Oh, sorry, let's make sure we're in frame. There we go. Okay, so as usual, the position that I'm sitting in is straight up, excuse me, and my elbow is 45 degrees away from my body, and then my hand comes back another 45 and is sort of centered right in front of my chest. And I kind of just stay in that position. So we'll go heavy on this side, we'll give him a heavy knee shadow, light on this side, light on the calf. Here we've got part of the quads. We got this heavy side on this calf. Man, I really like this brush. This is my favorite brush in a long time. Let's see, go heavy there. So Rip Rider is about, like I said earlier, it's oh, getting out of frame here. I gotta adjust this camera. There we go, guys. So he's a professional surfer, and he's what's called a drop-in surfer, and they surf on giant waves on other planets, and they drop in from the ship they're in, almost like parachuting, like skydiving. And they drop into these giant waves that you could never paddle out to. And in the first story, Rip gets stuck on a planet far, far from home, all by himself. Excuse me. It always happens. I haven't figured out a way. Excuse me, I'm drinking water. I haven't figured out a way to not talk all day and then start talking for these videos and have my throat and mouth work properly. But I'm getting a little better each day. Fell out of the swing of things this last year. Like I've said in other videos, we kind of had a lot of real life situations and stuff that took up time that I didn't expect and got behind on videos, but back at it, baby. The people demanded. My little ink kings out there. I need to do this for you and for me. I need to share this info and sort of catalog the progress of my projects, and I want to teach you guys as much as possible. I want to teach everybody. Like, I don't want to just teach artists. I really think a lot of people they're afraid to do crafty things sometimes if they don't feel creative or they don't feel it's that great, but it's so good for you. Like, just sit at the table and throw some ink lines and make some shapes and stuff and just play around while you're watching TV. And then I also want to help the artist that wants to learn to be a better inker. It's an intimidating craft, and it doesn't have to be. It shouldn't be thought of as intimidating. It should just be thought of as taking a lot of time to get good at. All right, I think we're warmed up. We are going to... Oh, sorry about that. Hope your head's okay. Just knocked you guys for a loop. I'm going to peel off a little artist tape. We're going to wash the brush a little. I want it really wet. This is dry paper. Dry paper. Of course it's dry paper. Idiot. This is toothy, rough paper, and it will tend to make the ink lines dry. So I want the brush really wet. Right, we are loading it up. And what's our rule? We don't go more than halfway to 2/3 when we dip in our jar. Wipe a little on the side. I got a little piece of illustration board over here that I sort of wipe it on just to make sure it's sharp. and away we go. It's nice and heavy now. We're going to start just like we did on the other one. So we map out our trajectory. Boom, this is where we want to go. Swing it back here. Nice firm line. There we go. Now I did a lot of the penciling with the pencil shading with the side of a pencil. So it's the brush is gonna sort of mimic that effect on this toothy paper. I don't know if you can tell from there how dry these lines are. These be pretty dry lines, yo. I'm already having to go back for another dip of the brush. And where are we on time? We're at 12. I wanted to keep this under 20. So we're gonna go a little faster. Plus, moving fast, we get nice clean lines. Now, you don't have to move fast in the beginning. Speed will come with time and experience. And this is going to tend to be a slightly angular image. So I'm sort of throwing angular lines, working quickly. When I work quick, my work is more angular. When I have time to work slow, I tend to smooth things out. But no matter what, the lines always have to convey a certain confidence. We can do this thin lines now because, man, the brush, this paper soaks the ink right out of the brush. So now I'm almost treating it like a pencil and come in here. You can see I've changed I was holding it like this with these two fingers on this side, this centered there, going like that. Now for these little lines, I sort of come in a little tighter and only have this finger on that side. Kind of, oh, missed a finger, there we go. Missed the pinky, there we go. Get that middle finger. Forefinger. And I gotta go back for a dip again. I did not expect it to be soaking up the ink like that. That is crazy. So one of the benefits of designing a character with a mask like this is that at least for the first issue, I don't have to draw his face that much. And I haven't drawn a comic in a couple of years, so I wanted to figure out designs and storytelling methods that would sort of help me practice getting back into the swing of things while still being visually interesting. And this simple shield design on his wetsuit is going to change a little bit. And it's where his surfboard, he stores his surfboard like a shield right here, and then it folds open. It's pretty cool. I got it all figured out. I'm not gonna quite show that yet, but all right, let's see. Actually, we're gonna do his fin on his Rocketeer motorcycle helmet. I didn't realize that's what it looked like until after I designed it. And he's got his equivalent to a GoPro camera and projector there. The helmet, I was designing it to look like those bicycle helmets, the racing cycle helmets. A friend of mine was an Olympian cyclist. He didn't end up competing, but he went to the camps and everything like that. And he injured himself, so he didn't compete. But I've always had a fascination with cycling. I don't follow the sport or know the pros, but I like the designs of the helmets. I like the aerodynamics of the sport. It's interesting to me. Yet I do not care about watching it or following the athletes. All right, back to we changed position again. We're doing these thin lines, kind of using the brush like I do a pencil. A lot of people use their brush like they do a pencil all the time. I just don't. They're different tools and they play differently. So I have different ways that I hold them. But you don't have to do what I do. Remember that. Getting his six-pack and pecs in there. I'm getting excited to finish up the detail lines here because then I can get in and do all these heavy black shapes, which is really what I'm looking forward to doing. Let's get his knee pads and the seams on the wetsuit. Excuse me. All right, let's drink some water. Let's rinse off our brush and pick up a little water. Wipe some of that just a little bit down, and then go like halfway, 2/3 in the jar. Load it up with ink. Sitting upright. Breathing regularly. Oh, you know what? I missed some musculature lines here in his quads. And his shins. All right. I'm going to choke up on the bat. Play baseball, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to pull back here and hold it here so I can get a wider chisel shape. And this is what I was saying earlier about mimicking the drag of the side of a pencil. So if you're inking guys like Capullo, Silvestri, Larry Stroman, when I inked him, he uses a lot of side of the pencil. Whilst Pertasio, when I inked him, it was a lot of side of the pencil. It was really fun to get to ink Wills with the side of the brush like this. Look at that, already having to go back and load up. All right, and so the sort of cheap trick for how I'm shading this in is you draw in all your muscle groups, and then you sort of draw or paint in the black shapes in between. Almost on like, not almost on, but on the shadow side of everything. There will be some reflected light on the sides like that. So I'm going to mostly have the light coming up from below. I'm going to digitally color this as sort of a practice piece. I want to get really comfortable with the character and the designs before I dive into the book next week. So if you look at some of the classic Marvel books and some of all the greats, they will sort of use this technique. Where see we have our muscle group outline there and sort of centered the black shadows. It's a core shadow is what that's called. David Finch is really good at those. He was really happy with the way I handled his shadows. All right, gotta load up again. We are at 20 minutes, but we are almost done. Almost done. This is how it is sometimes. You know what? This is gonna be all in black because that's in shadow. So there were times, I'm gonna tell these stories on another podcast that we're gonna be starting, but there were times when I was working for Danny Mickey that, man, we would be rush inking, knowing like we could hear the FedEx guy a couple blocks away doing pickups, and we knew he was going to be here in 10 minutes, and man, we were rushing to get stuff done. And we've put wet ink into the boxes. We've taped pages to the side of the box with the ink when the ink was wet so that it wouldn't flop around or touch, and everything always made it there just fine. We did some crazy stuff, but now my deadline is trying to make sure I get the job done in the time that people are watching the video. All right, we're gonna go final touches here on the helmet. Do some round Kirby reflection, kind of circular shapes. Make his helmet seem a little more metallic. All right, there we go. Let me get a marker to do my autograph. The old RAW. All right, cool. 22 minutes, not so bad. Yeah, I hope you learned a little bit about using the side of the brush on drier paper. It gives you kind of a fun effect. Nice dry brush. Let's take a good look. See that? There we go. Ink some Rip Rider. Some dry brush. And usual spiel. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to know about. You guys are being great about that, especially on Twitter and stuff. People are giving me comments and notes on things they want to learn and see. And I want to be able to help you guys out. So until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and take it easy. And if you haven't already, head over to alternaaccess.com and check out the book I wrote, Gods and Gears, with art by Dean Kotz and letters by Wes Loker. Issue 4 is out soon.
Stupid cat.